Good morning, Rene Gonzalez, Kevin Rabbit, Kevin Rabbit's shrimp stories. Today I want to relate about, I'm still making videos about the Tito back in the 70s, 76, 78. Or, anyway, but it was a time that it was an accident happened on the boat. A friend of ours that worked with us, he's not a friend, he's kind of related, he's a cousin of ours. Uh, anyway, I think it was Don and Peter at those years that Ocean Reef. That's when Don and Peter and Little Roy and all of them, those are the guys that were working with me. And but anyway, it was Don and Peter, I believe. But there was a cousin of ours named Gilbert Hernandez was with us on that trip, and I think we were out to the east at the home base. The home base is a bottom out from the 6700 line all the way to the 7100 line. I think it's what is it, 35 fathoms, 34, 35 fathoms. Uh, that's clocking bottoms that we used to work all the time, and we like to work those areas because there's a lot of times that daylight shrimp. But anyway, one day, we had already started dragging for the evening, and I think it was maybe about 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the evening. It's already getting a little dark. Uh, we were dragging, and these guys were in the back deck. I was up on front on the wheelhouse and on the radio talking to the compadre of ours that was dragging beside us, and all of a sudden they start banging on the doors here on the side of the cabin, and one side was Peter, my little brother Peter, banging on the door, and hey, hollering at me, something had happened, and what, I couldn't understand what he was saying. And then all of a sudden on the other side of the door, uh, I get a banging there, and that was Gilbert. And then and he holds up his hands like this, and all three fingers on both hands had been cut off. So, wow. I mean, man, I jumped out of there and I said, what the hell happened? And when they were picking up the tri-net, sometimes you have to be guiding the cable on the tri-net where it won't wrap up on one side only. Uh, so you gotta kind of guide the cable where it'll wrap, you know. But I guess these guys were messing around, not paying attention, and when they're picking up the tri-net, the damn cable caught his fingers, both hands. And said, "Wow!" And I didn't know what to do, man. I got his hands and wrapped him up and tried to put all the bandage that I could on it. But I called the Coast Guard and had to get them to come pick up this guy. And the Coast Guard told me to try to see if I could get some ice, because those boats, they were freezer boats. There was no ice. And but there was a friend of mine that was dragging behind me at that time, old Mando Martinez on the Three Brothers. He was always behind me. Good friend of ours, working together. Anyway, he was an ice boat. So we picked up and hung up the nets and got together, and he gave me a basket of ice where I could get a big pan full of ice and get him put his hands in the ice until the Coast Guard got here. And we were at that time I had to be running towards Galveston, because that's where the Coast Guard helicopter was going to come from. Coast Guard, Galveston area. So we were running towards him until the the helicopter got here. And then when the helicopter gets here, They'll put you to go down seas at a certain speed, and then the helicopter will come and meet up with your boat and drop the basket, and it'll drop it down, and you gotta guide it in to where it'll sit on deck. Once it sit on deck, it kind of it's got a electric where it'll magnetize it where it won't slip, and then that's when you get the guy to get on the basket, and they picked him up and took him in. But man, those are little things like that, accidents like that that happen. I'm not paying attention. Uh, it showed us that time, but wow, it was an experience on itself just to try to send that guy in to the hospital there, and the Coast Guard, they were telling me try to find his fingertips. If you find the fingertips, they can put him, maybe sew him back. And we went to go look on the trinet cable, was all wrapped up on it, man. I mean, it was all wrapped up on those tips, so there was no way we could get them. We could get them out. uh, so, uh, so no, he couldn't get the tips back out of there. But I don't know if y'all know Gilbert Hernandez from over here, Rockport. He's into other things now, but he's a cousin of ours because his dad were my stepfather's brothers, old Morris Hernandez, and all these boys, they kind of grew up around us. So yeah, I wanted to say that because I want to express a lot of little different stories about these boats right here on this year that we worked. Uh, but anyway, later on, I want to come up with the bottoms. All the bottoms that I have. I have it. I have all my satchel full of dragging bottoms, and I want to see if I can make books with dragging bottoms. But later on, I want to come up with something like that. But that's what I wanted to explain about that trip that happened there. We were catching good shrimp at that time, man, and that's when you gotta know your bottoms, and we started dragging at daytime. It was pretty good, but until that accident happened. But that's the kind of stuff I want to relate to. But hopefully you enjoyed that. I want to bring another one back later on. Okay, good morning. Let's see here.